Alright, let's dive into something I absolutely love. Making things better, stronger, and frankly, cooler. Today we're talking about anodizing. Now, what is it? In the simplest terms, anodizing is a process we use to give certain metals, especially aluminium, a super strong and protective outer layer. Think of it like giving a piece of metal a custom-built suit of armor. It's not a layer of paint that sits on top. Oh no, it's far more elegant than that. The process actually changes the surface of the metal itself, growing a new integrated layer of oxide right out of the base material. This is a fundamental difference that makes it incredibly durable. So, why do we go to all this trouble? Well, I reject your reality and substitute my own. But in this case, the reality is that raw metal has its weaknesses. Anodizing tackles those weaknesses head-on. The most obvious reason is for protection against corrosion, or what we commonly call rust. That new oxide layer is incredibly resistant to the elements, moisture, and general wear and tear. It stops the metal from degrading over time, which is a massive win for longevity. But it's not just about durability. It's also a fantastic way to add vibrant, permanent color to a part, making your projects look absolutely fantastic. This brings us to the trinity of anodizing benefits: color, strength, and protection. The anodic layer is naturally porous, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually a brilliant feature. These microscopic pores are perfect for absorbing dyes, allowing us to infuse the metal with deep, rich colors that won't chip or peel off like paint. Then, when we seal it, that color is locked in for good. On top of that, the aluminium oxide layer is exceptionally hard. In fact, it's almost as hard as diamond. This gives the surface incredible scratch and abrasion resistance, keeping our creations looking pristine even after a lot of use. So, you see, it's not just a cosmetic treatment. Anodizing is a true feat of electrochemistry that fundamentally enhances a material. It takes a good piece of aluminium and elevates it into something superior. It's a process that combines science, engineering, and artistry, which is right up my alley. Whether you're building a custom robot, tricking out a bicycle, or making high-end cookware, anodizing provides a finish that is both beautiful and incredibly functional. It's one of those workshop processes that feels like a little bit of magic, turning an ordinary metal part into something truly special and built to last. Now, if you're thinking about trying this yourself, and you absolutely should, with the right safety precautions, let's talk about the gear. You don't need $1 million laboratory, but you do need some specific equipment. The heart of the operation is a DC power supply. This is what provides the electrical current needed to drive the chemical reaction. You'll also need a tank to hold your acid bath. This should be made of a non-reactive material, like a heavy-duty plastic container. Inside the tank, you'll need a cathode, which is typically a sheet of lead or a piece of aluminium that is larger than the part you are anodizing. Finally, you'll need some aluminium or titanium wire to suspend your part in the solution. Safety is non-negotiable here, folks. I cannot stress this enough. We're working with acid and electricity, a combination that demands respect. You must have proper personal protective equipment, PPE. This means, at a minimum, chemical-resistant gloves, full coverage safety goggles or a face shield, and an apron to protect your clothes and skin from any splashes. The process also releases hydrogen gas, which is flammable, so your workspace must be extremely well ventilated. Never ever attempt this in a small enclosed room. An open garage with a fan or a dedicated outdoor setup is the way to go. Remember, the only difference between science and mucking about is writing it down and not getting hurt. The main chemical you'll be using is sulfuric acid, which you'll dilute with distilled water. Why distilled water? Because tap water contains minerals and impurities that can interfere with the process and mess up your finish. You'll also need a good cleaning agent, like a degreaser, and a solution of sodium hydroxide or lye, which is used to etch the surface of the metal before anodizing. This etching step removes the thin, natural oxide layer and creates a uniform matte finish, ready for the new, thicker layer to grow. Getting all your materials and safety gear ready before you start is the key to a smooth and successful anodizing run. Preparation is everything. Before you even think about dipping your part in the acid, it needs to be spotlessly cleaned. Any oil, grease, or even fingerprints on the surface will prevent the anodizing process from working correctly in those spots, leaving you with a blotchy, uneven finish. So, you start with a thorough degreasing. After that, you give it a good rinse in distilled water. Then comes the etching bath in the lye solution. which chemically cleans the surface even further. Following that, another rinse. This meticulous cleaning and rinsing process ensures that when you finally introduce the electricity, the anodic layer forms perfectly and uniformly across the entire part. Okay, the part is cleaned and prepped and our gear is ready. It's time for the magic. The first step in the actual anodizing process is to submerge your part into the sulfuric acid bath. You'll hang your aluminum part from an aluminum or titanium wire, making sure it is securely connected. This wire is crucial because it will conduct the electricity to the part. You then connect the positive lead of your DC power supply to this wire. This makes your part the anode, hence the name anodizing. The negative lead from the power supply gets connected to the lead or aluminum cathode that is already sitting in the acid bath. With everything submerged and connected, it's time to turn on the power. When you do, electricity flows from the power supply, through your part, the anode, across the acid electrolyte, to the cathode, and back to the power supply, completing the circuit. This flow of electricity sparks an electrochemical reaction. Water molecules in the acid are split apart at the surface of your aluminum part. The oxygen ions are drawn to the positively charged aluminum surface, and they immediately bond with it. This reaction forms a new, highly structured layer of aluminum oxide, growing both inwards and outwards from the original surface. As the process continues, this aluminum oxide layer gets thicker and thicker. The structure that forms is fascinating. It's a matrix of tightly packed hexagonal columns with a tiny pore running down the center of each one. The thickness of this layer is controlled by two main factors: media group, adjusting current on power supply for anodizing, close-up of technician setting electrical current stock distribute equally, the amount of electrical current you're using, and how long you leave the part in the bath. More current or more time generally results in a thicker, more durable coating. The process also generates heat, so for professional results, the temperature of the acid bath needs to be carefully controlled, often using a cooling system to keep it consistent. Once the oxide layer has reached the desired thickness, you turn off the power supply and carefully remove your part from the acid. After a thorough rinse in distilled water, you're left with a part that has a hard, uniform, and porous surface. If you want to add color, this is the moment. The part is dipped into a bath of organic dye. Those tiny pores we talked about act like sponges, soaking up the dye. The longer it soaks, the deeper the color. Once you're happy with the shade, the final step is sealing. This is usually done by boiling the part in deionized water, which hydrates the oxide molecules, causing them to swell and close up the tops of the pores, permanently locking the color in. So, what have we created? The new surface on your part is nothing short of remarkable. It's no longer just aluminum, it's a layer of aluminum oxide, which is a type of ceramic. This means the surface is now incredibly hard and resistant to scratches and wear. You can take a key to a properly anodized part, and it often won't even leave a mark. This is a huge advantage for any object that gets handled a lot or is exposed to friction. The surface is also electrically non-conductive, which can be a useful property in electronics enclosures and components. It's a complete transformation of the material's properties. The benefits are why we see anodized products everywhere in our daily lives. Think about high-quality cookware, like frying pans and baking trays. The anodized surface makes them non-reactive, durable, and easy to clean. Look at the colorful bodies of Maglite torches, or the casings of premium smartphones and laptops. That's often anodizing at work, providing both that sleek look and protection from scratches and dings. In the world of cycling, many components like cranksets, hubs, and seat posts are anodized for a lightweight, corrosion-resistant, and custom-colored finish. It's the perfect blend of aesthetics and performance. You'll also find it in architecture, on window frames and building facades, where it has to stand up to weather for decades. It's used in carabiners for rock climbing, where strength and reliability are literally life-saving. Even small everyday items like high-end pens, keychains, and portable hard drive cases use anodizing to feel more premium and last longer. The process allows manufacturers to use a lightweight metal like aluminum, but give it the surface properties of a much tougher, more resilient material. It's a testament to how a clever bit of science can elevate the things we use every single day. In the end, anodizing is a cornerstone of modern manufacturing and a fantastic tool for any maker. It's a process that takes an ordinary metal and imbues it with extraordinary qualities. It provides a shield against the relentless march of time and corrosion. offers a canvas for vibrant and permanent color, and delivers a surface tough enough to handle real-world abuse. It's a perfect example of how we can use science not just to build things, but to build them better. It's more than just a finish, it's a fundamental improvement, and that, my friends, is what making is all about. Failure is always an option, but with anodizing, you're setting your project up for a long and beautiful success.